So in this segment, a bit late on this one as I am with most videos nowadays, the DUP's boycott of North-South meetings is unlawful, the Belfast High Court rules. So I read through this article, I was like, okay, it's interesting, and then I saw the DUP's response and I was like, wow, like you guys are embarrassing. Don't know what the hell's going on in the Desperate Unionist Party, but let's have a look. So the DUP's boycott of North-South meetings in protest at the Northern Ireland Protocol is unlawful, the High Court judge has ruled. So, to boycott meetings, to say you hate the Northern Ireland Protocol, is so stupid. What you do is you go to these meetings and you just bore the hell out of people and say, we've got to get rid of the Northern Ireland Protocol. And it's just like, well, how can we make the situation better, with trade from GB to Ireland? I've got an idea. Let's scrap the Northern Ireland Protocol, Article 16, and just blather on. Just annoy everyone at the meeting. That's what I would do. I wouldn't boycott it. It's just dumb. Especially when your actions have been deemed illegal by a court judge. Mr. Justice Schofield delivered the declaration at the Belfast High Court after a Belfast man, Sean Napier, brought judicial review proceedings into the lawfulness of the DUP move. So shouts out to this man who's done this. The case centred around DUP leader Donaldson's announcement last month that his party would disengage with the North-South Ministerial Council meetings as part of their campaign of opposition to the protocol. It's so dumb. Just turn up and just cause havoc. That's what I would do. Schofield said the respondents' decision to withdraw from the North-South Ministerial Council was and is unlawful. It frustrates, is contrary to, and is in breach of the legal duties contained in the Northern Ireland Act. Like, bro, why are you breaking the law? What's going on here? Honestly, they must have known this as well. They would have lawyers and things like that. They would have asked them about the legality of this. I mean, maybe they did this on purpose. They knew they were breaking the law. They did it for clout, to say that, oh yeah, we hate the Northern Ireland Protocol so much, we're going to break the law. Yeah, because we're so crazy. The judge continued, ministers of the Northern Ireland Executive are required to affirm the pledge of office set out as part of the Northern Ireland Executive Ministerial Code. So they've broken the law and they've broken the Ministerial Code. That includes a commitment to participate in the North-South Ministerial Council and the British-Irish Council. It is difficult for the court to reach any other conclusion than that the respondents have consciously determined to act in contravention of the Pledge of Office and the Ministerial Code. So the court is essentially saying, you knew what you were doing, you broke the law, buck up, son. He added, it is perhaps worth emphasising that each minister of the Northern Ireland Executive bears personal responsibility to comply with the Pledge of Office and the Ministerial Code. So he's saying each member of the Northern Ireland Executive here has essentially broken the code and the law. The court expects the respondents to comply with their legal obligations, so they have to turn up. They have to go now. Mr. Schofield said he would not take any further action at the moment, but said if there was no change to the situation, the applicant could return to court. So essentially, I think the person who asked for judicial review could go back and say, look, they're not following your last court order. What are you going to do? And the judge would have to probably punish them at that point. The court obviously possesses further powers, but in my view, it would be a sorry spectacle for those powers to be invoked. And this is where I disagree with the judge. I think that he should have inflicted some sort of penalty on them, to be honest. But that's up to Mr. Schofield. Mr. Napier's lawyers argued that the decision to boycott the meetings is frustrating the function of government and could jeopardise peace funding. Again, why are they doing this? Boycotting meetings is so dumb and childish. They also argue that the policy breaches constitutional agreements under the Northern Ireland Act and violates the Stormont's Ministerial Code. 2 NMSC meetings have already been cancelled, with further meetings scheduled for later this week, the week the article's written. So it'd be interesting to see if they continue to ignore these meetings despite a court order from not some bloody foreign court, from a Northern Irish court. In response to the ruling, Stormont's First Minister, Paul Givan, said the DUP will read through the judgment that has been passed in the courts and provide a more detailed response in due course. But he says, I would make this point whenever it comes to the workings of North-South institutions. My party made it clear we do wish to see all of the parts of the Belfast Agreement upheld. Well, Paul, it's a given that if you want to uphold all parts of the the Good Friday Agreement, or the Belfast Agreement as you've called it here, you would go to the meetings, unless of course you knew what you did would cause a massive stink and your actions would be deemed illegal and you've just done this for clout. I don't know, Paul, that's not a given there, but I would be looking very carefully at your actions and at your party's actions unless you want the courts to go for you again. But they are interdependent, they are interlinked, and the East-West dimension has been trashed as a result of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Well, the Good Friday Agreement doesn't care much about the East-West dimension, it cares about the North-South dimension, which you keep breaking. So this argument here is stupid, and it's the argument that they keep making, which is very annoying. It is regrettable that it is having a knock-on effect on the North-South institutions. Nah, mate, Paul, your party's having an impact on North-South institutions, not the Northern Ireland Protocol. That's you, Chief. Paul, it's a given that you don't know what you're doing, but the Desperate Unionist Party, I didn't think you guys were stupid, because the Northern Ireland, the Good Friday Agreement, as far as I know of, I could be wrong, isn't about East-West relations, it's about North-South relations. And the Northern Ireland Protocol does not impact North-South relations, does it? There's no border in Ireland, as far as I know of, is there? No hard border. Functionally, it doesn't really exist, does it? So, Paul, mate, you best start turning up to these meetings. Yeah, you can cause a nuisance in them, but you got to turn up now. You got to actually do your job. Mr. Given said his focus is on wanting to have these issues resolved so that all the other parts of the institution are able to work to function normally. Mate, if you wanted them to function properly, you would turn up to the meetings and actually state your problems, rather than not going and breaching parts of an international treaty. However, the protocol has fundamentally undermined the basis on which the Belfast Agreement set up those various different strands. That's not true, is it, though? That's not true, is it, Paul? Why are you lying for? It's not about East-West relations. It's not about what happens between GB and NI. The Good Friday Agreement is about what happens between Northern Ireland and Ireland. Come on, bro. Why are you lying to the people? Why are you lying to the people, Paul? Asked if, as a result of the ruling, he would ensure the DUP ministers attend the North-South Ministerial Council meetings in compliance with the law, he said his party is very much focused on resolving the issues which have created this impasse. No. Paul. The court said you got to go to the meetings. I suggest you go to the meetings. And I'm sure your lawyers would suggest the same, because otherwise you're going to be back in court, son. Let's see. Stormont's Infrastructure Minister and SDLP Deputy Leader Nicola Mallon said the High Court ruling was significant and demands an immediate response from the DUP leadership. The decision to suspend North-South cooperation was intemperate, ill-considered, and has now been confirmed as unlawful. Now, if these dudes, the DUP voted for Brexit, maybe because they wanted British laws to be done in British courts. This is a British court that struck you down. So it's about time you start listening to them, no? It is time for ministers involved in this boycott to step back and commit to upholding their legal obligations. Surely you could use the meetings as a point to keep saying to the other side, oh yeah, the Northern Ireland's a problem, what are you going to do about it? The Northern Ireland Protocol, is a problem. What are you going to do about it? That's a good use of the meeting time. Well, it's not a good use of the meeting time, but it means you're at least doing something rather than breaking the law. Miss Mallon said the politics of boycott, division and deadlock has failed people in the South for far too long. We don't need another manufactured crisis, which is very true. We need ministers committed to doing their job, working with people and parties across these islands and delivering for the people we represent, which is true. That's what you need to do. So Paul, kind of saying, maybe we'll turn up these meetings and uphold our part of the agreement. Maybe, but according to the court, you best start turning up. Otherwise, they might put sanctions on you, bruv, and no one wants that. Definitely not you or your legal team. Maybe your legal team do, so they'll make more money out of it. Who knows? But their actions of boycotting the meetings have been deemed illegal by the courts, and we'll see if the DUP start turning up to this or not. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.